the two different types of nephrons before we go too far. We talked about the two major components to a nephron, right? Renal corpuscle, renal tubule. There are two different types of nephrons. One is called a cortical nephron. The other, a juxtamedullary nephron. Now, the two differ in three main ways. First, they differ in what they do. Cortical nephrons are going to be typically involved in making your urine normal, okay? But the juxtamedullary nephrons kick in when you have an abnormal situation, like being dehydrated. They're going to help you reabsorb more fluid, more water. So you lose less water in your urine and you hold on to it. Therefore, hopefully, you're not as dehydrated as you were. Now, the second and third differences fall into their structure. The renal corpuscles that we see like here, 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 and here, they have different positionings. The first major thing that you look at when you look at the difference is where's the renal corpuscle located. The renal corpuscle of a juxtamedullary nephron is right next to the medulla. Juxta, J-U-X-T-A, means next to. Medullary refers to the medulla. So this is a juxtamedullary nephron. This is juxtamedullary. This is juxtamedullary. These down here, juxtamedullary. The juxtamedullary nephron's renal corpuscle will be next to the renal medulla. But look up here. What about these? These renal corpuscles are not next to the medulla. These are cortical nephrons. Okay? Their renal corpuscles are much more superficially located. Now, to give you the third major difference, I have to talk to you about the other major section of a nephron, and that's the renal tubule. If you look at these, here's your little renal corpuscle here. You see the squiggly line coming out of it? That is the first section of the renal tubule, called the proximal convoluted tubule, abbreviated PCT. From the proximal convoluted tubule, you go down the descending limb of the loop of Henle. You make a hairpin turn and you come up the ascending limb of the loop of Henle. And then through the ascending limb, you're going to move into this little tubing here, which is the distal convoluted tubule. So proximal convoluted tubule, descending limb loop of Henle, ascending limb loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and then you're in. That's it, for the nephron at least. The nephrons will then begin to merge, and you see these little mergings coming up here and here? They merge and allow urine to flow through this tube. That's a collecting duct. The collecting ducts will then begin to merge down here. See the little whiter area? That's your renal papilla from over here. So in the renal papilla, the collecting ducts merge and form papillary ducts. And then this little cup-like structure here, that's your minor calyx. So you had urine made by the nephron flowing into a collecting duct. Collecting ducts merging to form papillary ducts. And papillary ducts letting urine drain into minor calyx, to major calyx, to renal pelvis, and then out the ureter. All right? So this is kind of what happens before what we looked at over here. All right? In any case, why did I have to tell you about the renal tubule? Well, this is cortical over here. This is juxtamedullary. What do you notice about the tubule?
Longer.
One is longer than the other. That's the other major structural difference. The juxtamedullary nephrons, their loop of Henle is much longer than what you see with the cortical nephron. It's a little bit shallow. And this long loop of Henle, is what allows them to help you make what we call concentrated urine. It's a longer length, so you can absorb more water, in theory. Okay? And that's what it's about. All right? You'll talk about that probably in lecture. We're not going to go into that in here. All right, but that's the tubule. If you know those four parts, then you can identify them. I mean, they change.